Yesterday we have discussed about the topic plant tissue, in which we have discussed already about the meristematic tissue. Now today we are going to understand about the another type of tissue which have lost their ability to grow, right? They have lost the power of cell division. Such a tissue is known as permanent tissue. Such a tissue is known as permanent, that which have lost its ability to grow, which have lost its ability to divide. That tissue is known as permanent tissue. These cells have definite shape. They may be living or sometimes they are dead also. But it is when the meristematic tissue, loses their ability to divide, they turn into permanent tissue. So permanent tissue, again I am going to describe about it, is that permanent tissue is the one which have lost its ability to divide. It has lost its ability to grow. So that is why it's known as permanent one. It has definite shape, but it may be living or non-living. Right? Okay, just a moment. I would like to stop for some while. I was asking that once the meristematic tissue loses their ability, they don't have this ability forever to divide. Once they lost this ability to divide, so they are said to be as the permanent one. The permanent tissue again are of two types. One is simple permanent tissue and one is complex permanent tissue. What is simple permanent tissue and what is complex permanent tissue? If the tissue is made up of only one type, for example, if we are having the tissue, if this is the tissue having only one type of cell, like circular cell, shape can be anything, but if they are of one type only, such kind of tissue is said to be as simple permanent, which is made up of only one type of cell and having similar structure. All the cells have similar structure and similar function. They are known as simple permanent tissue. So if I try to find out that what all we have read about the plant tissue, we have started from the plant tissue on the basis of whether they have the ability to divide or they have lost their ability. If they have ability to divide, if they are still dividing and if they are still living, then they will be called as meristematic tissue. What they will be called as meristematic tissue. But if they have lost the ability to divide, then it will be known as permanent. Right? Okay. Yesterday we discussed about that the meristematic tissue, on the basis of their presence, we can have three type of meristematic tissue: apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. In the same manner, now permanent tissue are of two types. One is simple permanent tissue and one is complex permanent. PT means permanent tissue. Now I am not writing the complete. So today our topic is this: permanent tissue, in which there is simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Right? If I talk about the simple permanent, if I talk about the if I talk about simple permanent tissue, simple permanent tissue are the one which is made up of only same type of cell, which are made up of only same type of cell having same structure, बाहर जाके बात करो, same function, दोनों बात करो, having same structure and same function. They are known as simple and permanent tissue. But if the cells with which the tissue is made up of is of different type, having different shape, difference in their function, so that we call as complex permanent tissue. Complex permanent tissue. Now this simple permanent tissue can be simply divided into three more types. One is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, right? So why they are called as, I have described with you that they are having the similar structure, similar function and made up of only one type of cell. That is why they are called as simple permanent tissue. Now this simple permanent tissue can also have three types. One is collenchyma, one is parenchyma, one is collenchyma and parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, right? These are the three simple permanent tissue. These are the types of simple permanent tissue. Three simple permanent tissue. These are the types of simple permanent tissue. I hope I'm clear up to this time. Now, if we talk about the parenchyma, now whom we call as parenchyma? Which cells are the, like on your screen you are having simple permanent tissue, parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Now how these three tissue, although they are all simple permanent tissue, but how they are different from each other? They are different from each other, maybe because of their shape, maybe because of their function, or maybe something else, which we will describe in the characteristic. So now what I am going to discuss with you is the characteristic of the parenchyma. It is parenchyma. Just a moment, there is someone. So I was discussing about the parenchyma. Now how parenchyma is different from collenchyma and sclerenchyma, that we can find out the difference only once we come to know about their characteristic, that how they are different, although they are type of simple permanent tissue, but how they become different from each other, that we have to understand. First of all, we are going to discuss about the parenchyma. If we talk about the parenchyma cells, for example, if this is the parenchyma tissue, and if we talk about the parenchyma cells, their cells are living. Maybe they don't have the ability to divide, but they are living cells. Parenchyma cells are living. The cell wall of parenchyma cell is thin. They are of same shape, right? They are of same shape. The cell wall of parenchyma cell is thin and is made up of cellulose and pectin. Cellulose and pectin, right? There exists the intercellular space, means there is the presence of intercellular space among the cells of parenchyma tissue, right? Okay, they are present in the cortex and pith of the stem and roots, as well as they are present in the mesophyll cells of leaves. Now, what is the function of parenchyma? The function of parenchyma is to provide सबसे पहले mechanical strength to the plant, because you know that plant always is in standing position, so it requires more strength. So this strength is provided by the parenchyma and support, right? दूसरा function, that it store and assimilate food, other nutrients and water in the cells. Sometimes air cavity, sometimes air cavity becomes very large in the size and full of air. For example, if we talk about the leaf, if we talk about the leaf of which? Leaf of lotus plant, which is always floating on the water. Why it floats on the water? Because the vacuoles, because the air cavity present in such parenchyma which is present in the lotus are filled with air, right? This air help them to float. So in such cases it will not be called as parenchyma, it will be called as aerenchyma. Aerenchyma. The aerenchyma of lotus leaf, the parenchyma cells which are present in the lotus leaves are completely filled with air, which provide it the buoyancy so that it can float on the surface of the water. So in such case it will be called as aerenchyma. And in the leaves, sometimes these parenchyma cells are having chlorophyll in it, right? And their prominent function just become photosynthesis. Why? Because within these cells, within those cells where there is a lot of presence of chloroplast I was talking about. Such parenchyma cells, the cells of parenchyma tissue, if they are having prominent बहुत सारा chloroplast, in those parenchyma cells, the function is not to store, the function is to help in the process of photosynthesis. I hope that I am now clear. Parenchyma has the prominent function of parenchyma is to store and assimilate the food. But in certain special conditions, like if they are present in the leaves and there are a lot of chloroplast in these cells, so they will help in the process of photosynthesis. In such case, they will be called as chloroenchyma. What will be they called as? Although they are parenchyma cells only, they are parenchyma cells, but in the leaves there is the prominence of chloroplast in these cells, so they help in the process of photosynthesis, so they will be called as chloroenchyma. And in the hydroplants, that is those plants which are there in the water, for example lotus, in lotus leaves what happens, this parenchyma cell become filled with air. The parenchyma cells become filled with air, so they help, that provide the buoyancy to the hydroplants, to the leaves of the hydroplants, so it floats on the surface of the water. In such cases they are called as aerenchyma, whereas in rest of the trees, in rest of the parts of the trees, wherever is the presence of parenchyma, let me tell you, wherever is the presence of parenchyma cell, they help in the store and assimilation of the food and provide mechanical strength. Now we will be discussing about another type of simple permanent tissue which is called as collenchyma. Which is called as collenchyma. Again, we have discussed that the parenchyma cells, that the cells of parenchyma are, you can say, living. Here also, the cells of the collenchyma are also living, right? And what is their function? They have been modified just to help to provide the mechanical strength to the plant. Why? Why? Because they have their cell wall. Here the cell wall was thin, but here the cell wall is thick. Why the cell wall is thick? Because of the deposition of extra cellulose at the corners of the cell. Extracellulose is present, right? Here also in parenchyma, it was, the cell wall was thin, just one cell, because it is made up of cellulose. How now here the cell wall has thickened. Why the cell wall has thickened? Because there is extra deposition of cellulose at the corner of the cells. The cells of collenchyma may be, but here the cells are mostly circular. Here the cells may be circular, oval shape. They may be even sometimes polygonal in shape, right? Where is collenchyma found? Collenchyma is found in the leaf stalk. Collenchyma is found in the leaf stalk below the epidermis, and it is also found in the leaf midrib. Okay. Now, your question will be that, ma'am, what is leaf stalk? What is leaf stalk? Maybe you might not be well aware of the leaf stalk. Let me tell you one thing. If this is the branch of the tree, okay, if this is the branch of the tree, and here we are having this, where the leaf is attached, this we call as node, where from the leaf arises, we call it as node, and this we called as stalk, right? And this is leaf, and in the leaf you will always see that within the center there is a center line in the leaf, which we call as midrib. What we call it as midrib, right? So in this leaf stalk, there will be the presence of collenchyma, right? Then in the midrib of the leaf, there is the presence of